So Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, she likes to do these press conferences to let everyone remind everyone that, you know, she's still alive and she's still trying to destroy Donald Trump. And she was asked about Joe Biden and specifically Tara Reade, and she said something which immediately started trending and which she immediately wished she could have taken back, and which Joe Biden, once someone explained to him, I'm sure, what she'd said, probably was not thrilled about. Here's what Nancy Pelosi said about Joe Biden and Tara Reade's allegations against him.
There's a lot of excitement around the idea that women will be heard and be listened to. There's also due process.
Unless you're the president of the United States. Sorry, I had to interject.
And the fact that Joe Biden is Joe Biden.
The fact that Joe Biden is Joe Biden. Did Joe Biden sniff that woman live on stage? Oh, Joe Biden is Joe Biden. Did Joe Biden just cup that woman's breast inappropriately? Oh, that's just, you know, Joe Biden, that's just Joe Biden. You know, it's the equivalent of boys will be boys, which is the antithesis of everything that the Me Too movement and the feminist movement and the Democrats should be against.
Joe Biden is Joe Biden.
Man, that was the wrong thing for her to say at the wrong time. So now Joe Biden is forced to go on TV with Mika Brezinski on Morning Joe. And here's what she asked him about these allegations. And here's what he said.
Would you please go on the record with the American people? Did you sexually assault Tara Reade?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened. And it didn't. It never happened.
Here's the thing. I think before we take Joe Biden just at his word blindly, we need to ask him about some other things, because he doesn't remember the Declaration of Independence. He doesn't remember what city he's in half the time. He said he got arrested in South Africa coming off the plane when none of that actually happened. So either he's lying or he's remembering it wrong. But I don't think Joe Biden's memory is something we could ever or should ever take for granted.
Look, this is an open book. There's nothing for me to hide. Nothing at all.
Yeah, he said, look, there's nothing for me at all to hide. So then Mika asks him, well, then why are you hiding all this stuff? The next question, and the next question after that, led to probably the most uncomfortable 2 minutes of television I have ever seen. And I watch a lot of Real Housewives.
Are you certain there was nothing about Tara Reade in those records? And if so,
I am absolutely certain.
Why not approve a search of her name in those records?
Approve a search of her name?
Yes, and reveal anything that might be related to Tara Reade in the University of Delaware records.
There is nothing. They wouldn't. They're not there. And if I don't understand the point you're trying to make.
He doesn't understand the point. She's saying, look, you're saying there's nothing there. Okay, if that's the case, then why not search the records for her name? And he says, because she's not there. And Mika Brezinski says, I know, doofus. That's why if you're convinced there's nothing with her name in those records, why can't we search them? And he goes, I don't understand your point. And she presses the issue. She's like, look, Mr. Vice President, here's what I'm suggesting. And I would say a good 7 to 8 seconds, Joe Biden stares into the camera, trying to figure out what to say next, trying to comprehend what she's actually saying, trying to think about trying to remember something. Watching this on television was one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever seen.
I'm just talking about her name, not anybody else in those records. A search for that. Nothing classified with the president or anybody else. I'm just asking, why not do a search for Tara Reade's name in the University of Delaware records?
Look, I mean, who does that search?
The University of Delaware?
It's either that he's caught in a lie and he's not sure what to do next, or that he's just so confused and rattled and befuddled and bewildered and has no recollection of what the truth actually is because he can't remember back to 1993, that it almost becomes sad, really, whenever something like this happens, because there's going to be more. This is the beginning. There's always starts with one, then there's another and another and another. And every time a new woman comes forward with these kinds of allegations against the former vice president, just remember.
Joe Biden is Joe Biden.